Thursday, November 1st, 2018, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. This morning, I want to look at the precious metals, particularly gold, and a lot of the fallacies concerning gold that people have that I hear a lot from comments, from questions during live streams, and for the general public as well. I'll look at the characteristics of gold and silver and why they've been money for so long. And I'll show you some of the coins and bars that I like and some that I recommend if you are interested in getting into the precious metals in order to protect some of your stored wealth from confiscation by inflation, and also from lending your money to banks, because that's what you do when you put your money in the bank. You're lending the money, and it's subject to you losing or be bailed in. Before that, of course, I'll look at what the markets are doing this morning. It's 8:22 a.m. London. So before I go a little further, I'll just check. Of course, yesterday's stocks again rallied. Is the correction over? I don't think so by any stretch of the imagination. Yesterday was a little bit not that great of a finish for the stock market. The Dow actually was up almost 2% during the day, or just over 1.5%, and actually finished only up 0.97% or 240 points. So not great momentum at the close. So this morning, the surprise to me is the strength in the precious metals, because yesterday we retested a key support around 12.12. I think the low was around 12.11. And this morning, gold is up almost $10 at 12.24. So it rebounded very sharply off that 12.12 area. That was a level that was very important on the downside when we came down a few months ago. And we needed to break above that. And recently, when gold spiked higher, it was after breaking through that 12.12, 12.15 level. So that's very encouraging. Is it all we need to keep an eye on, the price of gold? No, as I said before, gold is savings. It's like an insurance. You need to worry about how many grams or ounces you have. Same for silver. So yeah, gold is up 0.82%, 12.2450. The low's been 12.1450, the high at 12.25. Silver's up 18 cents, 1.2%, 14.42. Right near the highs. The low's been 14.23. The Dow is up a little bit here, up 50 points, 25.176. It has been down over 50 points at overnight, and now it's rebounded. S&P is up 4.5 points, or 0.17%. The NASDAQ 100 future is not up. It's almost unchanged. It's only up 6 points at 69.71. Surprisingly, yeah, the dollar is very weak against the pound, even though the pound is not a big percentage of the dollar index. That is making a little bit of a dent. And why is the pound rebounded in the last couple of days? Well, there's a story out saying that it says there's a headline a comment from the minister who's in charge of the Brexit negotiations, a guy called Raab, R-A-A-B. He said that he expects a Brexit deal with the EU by November 21st. So I expect, I think that's why the pound is rebounding. Does that mean the pound now is out of the woods? You should sell your gold, buy pounds? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. And if a deal does come out and is confirmed, you'll probably see the pound go down. This is like buy the rumor, sell the fact, I would say. Longer term, the UK cannot sustain a strong currency, and it hasn't been able to sustain it since 2007-8 We have come from $2.11 at the high in 2007 to a present level of $1.29, and it's going to continue to go lower because we have a huge national debt. We have huge corporate debt, huge external debt, and as we don't have a reserve currency anymore, the only way to service and carry that debt forward is to keep inflating the currency away. That's the only thing the UK can do. And that's why you need to make sure you protect yourself against against that through holding precious metals, which I'll come to in a minute, all about gold and a bit about silver. So yeah, the pound's up 1%, up 136 pips, 129.01. Euro is making a move as well, up 0.5% or 57 pips at 113.68. And surprisingly, gold would be even stronger if the dollar was a bit weaker against the yen, but it's actually unchanged. It's 112.90. What about oil? Oil is fairly weak still. WTI is 65.12, down 1/3%. Brent is down 30 cents or 0.4% at 74.70. What about the dollar against the Chinese currency? Well, the dollar is down 1/3 against the yuan. That's quite interesting. That's quite a big move. It's at 6.95. So that's very interesting as well. Of course, the Chinese yuan is not part of the dollar index. What about the bond markets? Yeah, bond markets have started weakening a little bit, the treasury market. So the yields have started going up. We are at 316 this morning. The recent high has been 326. So remember that higher yields is not a good thing. It means the prices of bonds are going down. But recently, as recently as Monday, we were at 307. So now the yields are picking up, which is not a great sign. Gold. Yeah, there's a lot of fallacies about gold. People say gold is useless. There's not enough gold in the world for it to be money. And I laugh and I say, well, maybe at current prices there isn't. But even at current prices, gold acts as money. Central banks and governments wouldn't hold, as much gold as they do if it wasn't money. So first of all, I want to go through the characteristics of gold. And it's really, you go to Wikipedia. Gold is a chemical element with the symbol Au, Latin for aurum. And that's why the symbol in foreign exchange is XAU, right? Atomic number 79, making it one of the higher atomic number elements that occur naturally. In its pure form, it is a bright, slightly reddish yellow, dense, soft, malleable, and ductile metal. So it's also a very heavy metal, of course. So the characteristics, this is really interesting. Gold is the most malleable of all metals. A single gram can be beaten into a sheet 1 square meter. And an avoirdupois ounce into 300 square feet. Gold leaf can be beaten thin enough to become semi-transparent. The transmitted light appears greenish blue. Gold is a good conductor of heat and electricity. Gold has a density of 19.3 grams per square centimeter, almost identical to that of tungsten. And that's why tungsten is used, to counterfeiting gold bars, because it's a fraction of the price, and it has almost the density is 19.25 tungsten, while gold is 19.3. So what they do is they put make the tungsten bar and cover it with a thin film of gold, and that's how they do it. It feels like gold, but it's tungsten. The other interesting thing about gold, 1 ounce coin of gold, which I have here, one of my favorites, is a buffalo. If you stretch that, you can stretch it 5 miles, a 1 ounce gold coin. That's, how malleable gold is. And I personally think that to really And am I saying this because I just like gold because it's pretty and it's the qualities of gold? Partly, and that's the mystique of gold and the special thing about gold. But it's also very good money. It stores value. It has for thousands of years. It has the best track record of any kind of money, uh, especially compared to fiat money. And you need to really hold a gold coin or also a gold bar or even a silver coin to know how special it is. Until you do that, until you just keep buying ETFs or trading futures, you will never know how special it is. So what about silver? Well, silver is a chemical element with the symbol Ag, Latin argentum. So that's XAG as well. That's the symbol in the foreign exchange market. Atomic number 47, a soft white lustrous transition metal, exhibits the highest electrical conductivity, thermal conductivity, and reflectivity of any metal. Silver, of course, has a lot more industrial use than gold, but it's also been used as money for thousands of years. The name of the word for money in many languages is silver. In French, it's argent, which is silver. In Spanish, plata. Even in Welsh, someone told me the other day in the live stream, the name for money is silver, and I forgot what it is. I'm sorry. But also sterling, the name of our currency in the UK, British pound sterling. Sterling silver comes from that. And I know that the original pound was a pound of silver. So that's silver. What about the fallacy? One of the ones that I hear a lot is that there's not enough gold or silver in the world. So let's dispel that fallacy. First of all, let's look at how many dollar bills there are in the world. Physical, right? Because the money supply might be bigger, but it's all credit, right? You might have $1 million in your account, but if you go to the bank and ask for that in physical Federal Reserve notes or £1 million in Bank of England notes, they won't have it. So according to Wikipedia here, I got this thing from, I think it's from the New York Fed, says as of July 2013, currency in circulation, that is U.S. coins and paper currency in the hands of the public, totaled $1.2 trillion. The amount of cash in circulation has risen rapidly in recent decades, and much of the increase has been caused by demand from abroad. So let's say now it's 1.5 trillion. I don't know, it's 5 years, but it gives you a rough idea. So $1.2 trillion in actual physical dollars. That's what people don't understand. A lot of the money that you think is out there is just credit. When you borrow money from the bank or from a credit card, it comes into your account and it shows us $10,000. That is not physical dollars, that's credit. So what about gold? So let's see how much gold there is in the world. This is, I think, from the end of 2017, by the numbers, putting the world's money into perspective. So it says here, all the money, $83.6 trillion. And that's not the physical notes, right? But it says here, gold market cap, 8.2 trillion. But of all that gold, I would say maybe 20 to 25%, that would be held by the central banks as a monetary asset. So that equals to $2 trillion of gold held, let's say, by central banks and governments, which is more than the amount of physical dollar notes there are. So that, to me, dispels that fallacy that there's not enough gold out there. So where's the rest of the gold? Well, it's held by the public. And and that's why the central banks are very, they have a big concentration of gold. of course, for such a small amount of institutions, 20-25%. It might be more, but it's a rough estimate. And that's why they control the price, because they know that we hold the most gold, the general public. And that's why I always recommend that people buy the physical. Take the physical out of the market. Let's, fight these bankers. We don't want them to have any gold, right? We want to control the gold. At the moment, they control it. So there you go. That's the fallacy. And of course, the price. If the price of gold goes up tenfold, then all the gold in the world will equal, the 83.6 trillion, all the money in the world. All the money will be back to 100% by gold. So it just depends on the price, right? And the other thing as well, if gold was not money, if there wasn't enough gold, central banks wouldn't hold it as a monetary asset. Would be useless. If there's only like someone found it's like saying that a rare painting by Picasso, even though it's worth a lot, it's very rare. There's only one. It's not money. But gold is rare, but there is enough out there, and the higher the price goes, the more people will be incentivized to dig it out of the ground. So that's that fallacy. The other fallacy I hear, which is quite funny, is that you can't get an income out of gold. Well, you can't get an income out of a dollar bill unless you lend it, right? So that dispels that. What's the other fallacy? You can't eat gold or silver. Well, you can't eat dollar bills or pound notes or pound coins. You can exchange it though. And I'll give you an example. Back in 1986, when the Cruzeiro collapsed in Brazil, and I was born and grew up in Brazil. The Cruzeiro collapsed. The shops, the shelves were empty for a few days, or maybe a week or two. It wasn't great. And I remember we were doing a trip on a boat to the north of Brazil. Needed some meat, some beef, to cook and stuff, and we couldn't find it. So my dad knew someone who had a farm outside Rio, and he was able to get the meat. How did he pay the guy? Well, my dad had some dollars. So there you go. He didn't eat the dollars, but he was able to exchange it. So that's that fallacy dispelled. What are the coins and bars that I like and I recommend? And if you are interested, of course, I have my promo code with goldinvestments.co.uk. You get 0.5% off if you use Maneko64 promo code with goldinvestments.co.uk. They're arguably the oldest bullion dealer in the city of London, and it's family run, and I recommend them. So my favorite, of course, being the UK, is Gold Sovereign. So that's about 0.2354 of an ounce. Then you have like little gold bars. This is a 10-gram gold bar. Habib Bank, doesn't really matter, the name, but it's a 10-gram. And then there's a 5-gram one. And then one that I actually redeemed from Gold Money is a 1/20th of an ounce maple leaf. So you can get, and then you have, of course, an ounce bullion coin. This is 999. This is the Buffalo coin, US coin. What about silver? I mean, silver is very interesting as well. You can get, they call it junk silver. This is some UK junk silver. This is like a half crown. You've got like a shilling from 1918. I also have some, US junk silver, 90% silver. I haven't got it here at the moment. But also you've got silver bars. This is a really nice one that I like. It's a Heraeus 250-gram fine silver. And I got some, this I actually redeemed from Gold Money as well. These are 1 ounce Liberty bars, United States of America. Got a Buffalo there as well. and the Indian head, or Native American head, if you want to call it that. And this is from one of my viewers. I got it, he sent it to me as a token of appreciation. This is a really nice one. It's, let's see, a 1 ounce, 2018 1 ounce kangaroo. It's Australian. So there you go. It's got, unfortunately, it's got the Queen's head in the back. And then you've got 1 ounce maple leaf. That's a really good coin. And 1 ounce Britannia. So there you go. Those were, hopefully I made it, dispelled the fallacies about gold and silver to you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can also follow me on Steemit, DTube, and on Twitter. I wish you all a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.